Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. The brainwashing of the public is ongoing. If anyone has been watching any national television stations for too long over the last week, I'd imagine it would have ironed out any creases or folds in your brain, and the entire surface of it now would be smooth. A smooth brain from watching too much TV. I mean, it should be clear to see now with the media talking about the Queen and the funeral non-stop for the last week and everything else happening in the world seemingly having stopped just like that. It should be apparent that the media is not there to tell you the news. It's to manufacture and control the public's consciousness, to control their thoughts, control their minds and their subsequent actions. And this now is a 2-week-long bombardment of establishment propaganda. So anyway, seeing that so many people emailed me and said they liked the video I did with your comments, I thought I'd do another video responding to your comments or featuring your comments from the last video I did, False Idol Worship, which has now got 2,000 comments. I'm going to title this video, They Have Fallen in Love with the Lie, because that's what it seems to me. Obviously not everybody, but a lot of people have fallen in love with the lie, and I'll try and explain that a little bit later in the video. But let's take a look at your comments in regards to this mother of all psyops, because the fake stream media are only showing one side. So first comment, absolutely disgusting that NHS appointments cancelled for Monday. People have been waiting for over 2 years to get seen. Yes, we are living in an environment where this is now seen as justifiable to cancel hospital appointments. I believe many doctors are closed, and just to make it worse, they are taking a load of the NHS workers and doctors and getting them to join the funeral parade. Here we see NHS doctors and nurses to walk at the front during Queen's state funeral. So instead of treating people, they're going to be at the funeral parade. This is what they are telegraphing to the people. I mean, basically saying that your life, you, the public, your life and your health are not as important as the monarch. You are irrelevant, and now bow down and worship the false idol. And as clear as it may be, it seems people just want to keep on believing the lie rather than the truth. They can't handle the truth. Next comment. Meanwhile, my daughter, a registered nurse, who neither took or administered the you-know-what, will not be able to treat 30 patients on that day because her practice will be closed. Yeah, I mean, anyone with a functioning brain should look at that and say, it doesn't make any sense to withhold treatment for the sick for a super rich dead old woman's funeral. Again, you are worshipping a symbol of the establishment who are demanding the withdrawal of care and treatment for this one day. It's the complete opposite of what you're supposed to be worshipping. For example, I mean, in the Gospels, Jesus went around healing all manner of sickness and diseases. He didn't demand the hospitals be closed or the doctors be closed so you could worship him. Next comment. That's celebrity status for you, Hugo, all empowered through the good old telly. People really are, as a whole, so far removed from original origin now, and all by design, slowly and softly has it been done these past few hundred years, and people question it not at all. Something like he knows his time is short comes to mind. Okay, so yeah, he knows his time is short is from the book of Revelations. What does it say? It says, but woe to the earth and the sea, with great fury the devil has come down to you, knowing he has only a short time. It does seem like the public are being we're all being subjected to an agenda and then another agenda in quick succession over the last 2 years, like these control freaks are in some kind of rush. You know what I mean? It's one thing after another. All of it trying to guide people into falling into traps, and all sorts of digital traps, technological traps, energy vampire traps, cashless traps, digital IDs, and maybe worse. It's as if they are running out of time. So yeah, he only has a short time, trying to fit in as much as possible to catch people. Also time, well for me anyway, time seems to be speeding up. Days and weeks are flying by over the last 6 months. I don't know about you. Also, yes, celebrities. I noticed a couple of days ago, those peekaboo people, David Beckham, queuing supposedly for hours to see the Queen, but at the same time was followed continuously by cameramen from the news, and those peekaboo morning pair, Schofield and Willoughby, also making an appearance, which again, all of this echoes what we have seen over the last 2 years with the use of these vacuous entities to further their propaganda or their agenda and lead the gullible in the wrong direction. The same gullible people who reject the truth because they have fallen in love with the lie, with the illusion that has been projected into their minds through the media. The media, whose name sounds very much like Media, the Greek goddess of illusion. An illusion, a sorceress, it says here. Next comment. I watched a few minutes of it and that was enough. It really upsetting to see. Not because the Queen died, but because so many people are totally brainwashed and indoctrinated into worshipping a person that wouldn't have cared less if they lived or died. On Monday, all routine hospital treatment is being postponed, with GPs closed too, when there's already super long waiting lists. So if you, for instance, had a long-awaited specialist appointment for cancer, you'll have to wait even longer. How many additional deaths will that cause in the long term for one person's funeral? If the royals had the slightest respect for the people, they'd step in and ask medical appointments to continue. Again, this closing of doctors and cancelling of hospital appointments has rightfully hit a nerve. It's completely senseless. Next comment. Excellent take on meaning of false idols. Was it not the idea that kings and queens should be ordained by God to rule over nations? And so by worshipping them, we bow down not to them but to the higher authority. They seem to have forgotten it, if they ever knew it. And so have we. The countries are gone secular, people became too earthbound, so disconnected from true meanings of things, they are blind to the fact that nowadays dynasties are but hollow remnants of true majesty at best and actually are godless parasites, nothing that should be revered, nothing but false idols. It is understandable that people see national pride and identity, but that may be just the inability to see through the falsehood. And this goes for the Church of England and Vatican and every organised religion. They are far removed from God. Therefore, what are they? Nothing but false idols. Now, I am not truly religious and not British, so this may sound presumptuous of me, but I can see these things and apparently Hugo can. I wish more of his compatriots will see it too, so we can all snap out of it. So I agree with that. They are all in love with the lie. So to try and make sense of this, here is a line from the book of Revelation, which is the end of times final book in the Bible, and is basically detailing the complete destruction of Babylon, of the corrupt system. I'm sure you've seen this line before. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. So the merchants are the businessmen, the wheelers and dealers and the big money lenders, the city's merchants and their business, their successful enterprises, okay? That's what they mean by merchants. And these people were the great men of the earth, in that they are pulling the strings and making things happen. Then it says, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Now, as I'm sure you know, the Greek word for sorcery is pharmakia, from which we derive the word pharmacy. So the sorcery of end times Babylon will include drugs, to control and manipulate people. Okay? Sounds familiar? Yes. And here we see in Thessalonians 2, which is also about the end times. And there's quite a few bits in here, okay? It says here, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Okay, so let no man deceive you. I mean, are we not living in a world of deception, of controlled opposition, of our media and alternative media, Hegelian dialectic, all of these traps, etc.? For that day shall not come, except a falling away first. Now, I believe it means, a falling away is people not believing, having lost their faith in God. and worshipping false idols, worshipping the God of science, as opposed to worshipping God, Jesus, or the Creator. Okay? That's your falling away. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That'll be the Antichrist. Some people say there is more than one Antichrist. Maybe if you allow the beast system to turn you into a beast, then you may become your own Antichrist. Okay? Then it says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, and that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God. So this means someone or some movement who puts himself up as God, who says maybe, like a lot of the New Age people say, like the World Economic Forum's Harari guy says, they say we can all be our own gods and we can show you how to be your own God. Okay? And then we have a few lines here talking about the mystery of iniquity already at work. Iniquity meaning immoral or grossly unfair behavior. And as you can see, everything is getting more inverted, everything turned upside down. What is good is suddenly now bad. What is bad is suddenly now good. We're seeing this all of the time. So that's the mystery of iniquity already at work. And then shall the wicked be revealed, it says, which will be eventually destroyed. You can read this properly on your own, okay? But this is the line here. Well, these 3 lines that I found summed up what is happening over the last few days, okay? And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So you have, like I said earlier, for the quote, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And here we see, with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they didn't love the truth, and that they might be saved. They didn't believe. They worshipped the false idols. They worshipped the God of science, the black mirror devices. They focus on them and allowing themselves to be influenced by that. Like I said, everyone has a spiritual hole that needs to be filled. It's intrinsic within everyone, but they keep getting directed to the wrong place. They didn't love the truth. They chose to love the lie instead, because that makes it easier for them, as opposed to admitting that they may have made a mistake. Okay, the next line is, and for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. Again, we've got all nations deceived by sorcery, pharmakia. It says here, God send them a strong delusion, that they should believe the lie, so that they fall in love with the lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Okay? That they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. So it says they took pleasure in not believing. Okay? So was it easier for people to believe in the God of science rather than the Creator? Does believing in the Big Bang Theory give them the excuse to not maintain certain moral principles that they now think they won't be judged for? It's a bit... How can I explain this? It's a bit like that trope, that symbol. You know, the symbol of a person, say, and on one shoulder they have a devil, and on the opposite shoulder they have an angel, a little angel person, and a little devil, standing on each of their shoulders, both of them whispering in your ears, trying to influence you. Okay, one on the right, one on the left. The angel trying to influence you to be a good person, while the devil trying to influence you on the other side to be selfish and give in to your, carnal desires or whatever. And it's like, say the devil is whispering and he's saying, hey, look what the scientists are saying. They are saying the universe was created by a big explosion, the Big Bang Theory, 13.8 billion years ago, created by an explosion out of nowhere. Oh, right, really? Yeah, it wasn't created by God. Hey, did you know we all evolved from monkeys? You're just a monkey man. You're an animal. What are you saying that God didn't create man? God didn't create the universe. Yes, you're all evolved from monkeys. You're nothing special. So what? God didn't create the world? He didn't create the universe? Was I not made in God's image? No, you weren't. Trust the science. The scientists back this all up, mate. Don't you be worrying about it. And look at the benefits of there being no God. If you're not subject to God's law, you can do whatever you want. No rules to live by. You can eat as much as you want. You can drink as much as you want. You can fornicate and cheat on your wife. Survival of the fittest. You can walk all over other people. You can lie, you can cheat. You can do whatever you want to get to the top, and you don't have to worry about feeling guilty. And there's no judgment against you. And you can worship false idols all day long. Okay, so hopefully I'm not sounding like an insane person here, but do you see what I mean? It's easier for people to continue to believe in a lie. And the more consequential the lie is, then the more so they will delude themselves by falling in love with the lie. Because they don't want to change. It suits their lifestyle. They refuse to look into things too deeply because they are scared they may find something or start to question something which will result in them having to accept the truth. So they lazily stick their head in the sand and reject the truth, reject opening their mind to other possibilities because they don't want to admit that they actually may have been wrong in the past. It's a big problem for so many people admitting you were wrong. Why, I don't know. And that's what I've been thinking when I was reading those lines from the Bible and looking at the people queuing up this week. Okay? And that's enough of me yapping. Do you understand what I'm trying to get at here? Is it making any sense? Let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to hugotalks.com so you can be notified of all video uploads direct from the source and not have to rely on being notified by third-party websites. Thanks, and I'll see you later.